of the Retired Men's and Ladies Club of Rochester is now in session, officially. I know there'll probably be a few more people coming in, but I did pass out the flyers in regards to the Lake Avenue Baptist Church. Amazing, in the 1800s that, God bless America, was founded through the people from there. All right. A little pledge. A little dedication here, a little benediction, if you will. All right. It would be such a dull world if we were all the same. Our Lord provides some talent that each of us may claim. Some people can write poems, and some can truly sing. Some know how to build a house and fix almost anything. Some paint such lovely pictures, and some of us can teach. Some can plow a field of corn, and some are called to preach. If we were all the same, we'd find it dull each day. Thank God for difference in talents. He planned it all that way. Okay, very good. Amen. And now, if we could have the Pledge of Allegiance, please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Is there any old business? Now, as far as new business, on the 18th of November, we will not have a meeting. The room is going to be used by the Y, so we won't come up here for our meeting at all. If we want to go for, if they came back and reminded me that they were going to take the meeting over in the room, and they said, because you're having a luncheon. Well, I started thinking, yeah, we are, but we're going to meet somewhere ahead of time to decide on the luncheon, which we haven't done yet. So maybe we can do that a little later. If people would like to go for the luncheon on the 18th rather than, other than the meeting.
How many would like to go to lunch?
Pardon me?
How many would like to go to lunch?
Yeah, how many would like to go to lunch? Let's see a show of hands. It's the majority. Okay, we will, somebody come up with an idea in the next few minutes, and we'll discuss where we're going to go and meeting there at a certain time. Okay, if you would. All right. That's no old business, new business. That was pretty much it, unless there's something else to be discussed. Okay. Yes.
Yes, we've advertised free advertisement in the city newspaper, and then the Messenger Post online version. I'm not sure if it's getting to the print version or not because I don't have a subscription to the Messenger Post, but I've updated both of those. So and every week I like to add another media outlet for advertising.
Yeah, it'd be great. Thank you. Appreciate what you're doing. Good job. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Any visitors? I don't see any. I thought I was supposed to mention it though. Other than the people who will be speaking. All right. Unless there's nothing further. Oh, the treasurer's report. How about that?
Okay, as of today, we have $194.23.
Okay. At least we're solving anyway. Good. Jack, would you care to report on the Sunshine Club? If anything, or humor?
I can do that.
All right.
Before I get into the sunshine, my wife and I experienced a moment of sunshine that involves one of my granddaughters that I thought you might be interested in. I have a granddaughter, who at birth was born with brain cancer. And today she's now 23 years old. But she's handicapped. And one of the things that she's picked up from her grandfather is train watching. Now, CSX Railroad makes the headlines when things go bad. especially when they're hauling fuel tank cars, and they have accidents with other incidents. But there's sometimes people that you do not expect to do good. Surprise the heck out of me. One of them is CSX Railroad. For a number of years, CSX Railroad has taken on my granddaughter. And so one time we were having lunch somewhere. My wife and I sat next to a couple who is, the woman's husband is an engineer for CSX. And we got to talking about different things, and I mentioned this granddaughter of mine. She said, "Is that the little girl who stands in Fairport by the railroad crossing and waves like mad at us?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "That's my granddaughter." He said, "Well, you know," he said, "there's not an engineer on the line that runs from basically Toledo to Albany and then further a little bit sometimes to New York who don't look for her." And I said, "If we don't see her, we begin to worry about her." And over the years, they have given this granddaughter of mine just about every known piece of merchandise that CSX has available for sale, scot-free. The highlight of her year was one time not too long ago, they gave her permission to go up into a cab of a diesel engine, and facilities were made for her at the Goodman Street Yards down here off of Main. And we have been experiencing some great things, including a letter that she got from the CSX president who sent her some more souvenirs. Some of them have passed on to me. But anyway, the thing that I didn't expect, we knew about CSX, but the other day my wife and I were down at the Amtrak station, and our favorite train, who's always late, the Lakeshore Limited, was there, and a gal got off who was the conductor of that day on the Amtrak special, and she came in and she said, "Where's the little girl that waves to us at the railroad station?" So I went up and I introduced myself, and lo and behold, my granddaughter has struck up an acquaintance with the conductor on the Lakeshore Limited. And this gal got off the train, held up the train for about 5 minutes, came into the station and asked us where our granddaughter was. Because she said, "There's not any of us on either an Amtrak that don't look for her. And we get highly disappointed if she doesn't wave." So I said, "Well, today she's not feeling too well." I said, "But I know who you're speaking of," and I said, "We appreciate it." But these are instances in one's life that come from sources you hardly ever think about, and yet somebody is noticing. So today I brought that up because in this sunshine group here, we have people who cannot attend for one reason or another. But I thought maybe a little on the humor, a little on the interest side, the human interest side, you might enjoy knowing that there are some people in this world who we don't think about too much, but really think more about us. So I throw that out for just information. And by the way, my granddaughter is still waving like crazy on all the trains. And when they don't wave back, she gets excited. But anyway, so much for that. Sunshine for the group. Next week, I should have a roster for you. There are going to be a total of 4 that are no longer members here. Mostly not because of illness, but lack of transportation. They no longer drive. There is one case of illness. But basically, we will be down 4 people from last year. But I'll have that roster for you for next week, hopefully. As to the humor, I have one here that might interest you girls. You deal with emergencies. Well, I just haven't come across this one. But it happens to tie into a joke about blondes. So don't take offense if any of you are blondes and don't realize it. But it goes something like this. Returning home from work, a blonde was shocked to find her house ransacked and burglarized. She telephoned the police at once and reported the crime. The police dispatcher broadcast a call on the radio, and a K-9 unit patrolling nearby was the first to respond. As the K-9 officer approached the house with the dog on a leash, the blonde ran out on the porch, shuddered at the sight of the cop and his dog, then sat down on the steps. Putting her face in her hands, she moaned, "I come home to find all my possessions stolen. I call the police for help, and what do? They send me a blind policeman." That's a preliminary to this one.
You can do better than Jack.
Yeah, there's one more. Now this is, look, you can save some of this laughter, because this one here is a better one yet. This is called a wedding anniversary. Bob forgot his wedding anniversary. His wife was very, very mad. She told him, "Tomorrow morning, I expect to find a gift in the driveway that goes from 0 to 200 in 6 seconds. And it better be there." The next morning, when his wife woke up, she looked out the window and saw a box gift wrapped in the middle of the driveway. She opened it up and found a brand new bathroom scale. Bob has been missing since last Friday. See you next week.
Okay.
Jack.
Okay.
Now, how about the 50-50?
All right, get out your
Get
red
that out of the
tickets.
way.
We made it just in time.
It's lucky today.
You got some money?
Somebody gave me.
Okay, here we go.
Many took care of you.
We've got $20 here.
A giveaway?
Bill is one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Throw it.
Oh, excuse me, everybody.
Thank you.
You don't trust us.
Hey, I haven't more than a while.
Been about a week at least.
President Rochester.
Okay.
All right, President.
Okay, you want to read that?
Sure, 661-247.
Somebody after me.
Somebody have to be.
Somebody before me.
247.
247.
Somebody's got it here.
All right.
Who's got it?
Gene got it.
Okay.
My next one, Gene.
Here's the pile of money for Gene.
$20. Good for you, Gene.
All right.
All right, gee.
Draw my own.
Needs to pay the rent.
All right.
See what the
Okay.
And at this time, I would like to introduce our speaker. She grew up in Rochester, attended Brockport State, received a master's degree, has been working with the city for over 20-some years, and it is my pleasure to introduce Arlene Highland and her lovely assistant, Sharon Alati, who happens to be my daughter.
Oh. All right.
I have a certificate
in
for
the
you.
family.
We know you'll be doing a great job, and we appreciate your participation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have one for your daughter?
I know that's right.
We can
It's
get
in
one
the
for
mail.
her.
I'll catch up with them later.
Yes,
Oh,
it's in the mail.
it's in the mail.
Yeah, I know. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Arlene Highland, and as mentioned, Sharon Alati, and she's a fantastic supervisor for the 301 call center. And so that is our occupation. We work at the call center, the 301 City of Rochester call center. So this is going to be a combined effort, and I said to Sherry, also known as Sherry, you're going to help me with this, and so I'm going to bring you out because I want to make sure you're out here. So can everybody hear me okay?
Probably should use the mic if you would.
Bye.
It comes loose.
You can't do something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Twist it a little bit. There
I'm going to want to sing in a minute here.
Oh, yeah.
you go. Good.
You would not want to hear me sing. But I do have a raspy voice, so this is probably not a bad idea. But we're here today to learn a little bit about 311, unless you already know about 311, and if you do, I'll give you the mic. Okay. Well, absolutely, it's a non-emergency call. I heard somebody say that. But I'll give you our vision here. Rochester will be the best mid-sized city in the U.S. in which to live, raise a family, visit and grow a business. Our city will be renowned for its safe neighborhoods, vibrant economy, education excellence, and customer service.
Wow.
That's our motto. This is what we stand by. And this has been in place since 2006. Just like, okay. So we really, the 311 call center really works hard on being more effective, more efficient, and providing great customer service. So somebody here said that 311 call center, we answer non-emergency calls, I believe. Am I correct? Yeah. And that is very true. That is very true. But what is a 311 call center and how it kind of started? Well, in 1996, President Clinton challenged the Department of Justice to relieve the 911 system of the congestion due to the non-emergency calls. So 911, they were getting a bottleneck of calls. People, and that happens today as well, but people calling wanting to know, is the sun going to come out today? Believe it or not. Sometimes people call, they just want to know the time, and they call 911. So they came up with the 311 call center to, help with this bottleneck into the 911 system. And what it does, when you do bottleneck it, it delays the emergency service. So somebody may be calling for something like, what's the time? Somebody may be calling for a heart attack. We want to get to that, okay? So in 1997, the Federal Communication Commission established the abbreviated telephone number 311 strictly for non-emergency local government services. Strictly, so no one else can have that number other than the government, the municipalities.
So now they call us for what time? Is it how do I cook a turkey?
So now you can call 311 for that exactly. But so today's concept of the 311 call center, it's to continue the reduction of non-emergency calls is one of our goals. Expansion of the original police non-emergency service role to a more governmental service role. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in another slide. We want to also provide real-time data for your requests, the complaints, and services that people make. We want to assist the city, with the allocations of their resources based on why people are calling and what their needs are. We want to enhance citizens' access to city government, a tracking device for citizens. As well, it's an easy-to-remember number, right? I mean, who calls and say, well, what's the number to 311? Okay. And the one thing we do have at our call center is a multilingual service. So we do have bilingual service representatives, Spanish, but if you call and you do not speak English or Spanish, we do have an 800 number that we can reach out to help assist that caller with the city of Rochester. So our 311 call center was redone back in 2008 under the direction of Duffy at the time when Duffy came on board, Mayor Duffy. So that's when we implemented the new 311 call center. We are located at the 945 Mount Reed Center. It's called the Operations Center for the city of Rochester. And if anybody's ever been in that area, that's where you'll see the big mountains of salt. That's where our refuse trucks are placed, our fleets, and so forth. The police cars when they need to be repaired, and so forth. So some of the types of calls we get, basically for information. I say typically three things we do. Calls for general information, calls for city services that we provide, calls related to public safety, and some other calls such as reassessment hearings were rescheduled and so forth. Some more of the reasons why people call for information. Events, city sponsors many events throughout the summers and so forth, and so, the Party in the Park, which is on Thursday. So if you don't know who's gonna play this Thursday or so forth, you can call 311, we have that information. Jail information, this was always a funny one, because most people would think that we provide this information, but a good amount of our calls, believe it or not, are people calling wanting to know if so-and-so was in jail, for example. We get lots of calls. Somebody calls up and they say, my boyfriend didn't come home last night. Is he in jail? And I'm not kidding you. If I had to actually put like a number to this, and an estimated number of the types of calls on this, I would say on the public aspect side of the city of Rochester that we get, I'd say it's about 40% of public safety calls, and out of that, I would probably say, 35% of the public safety calls that relates to so in jail. Yeah, believe it or not. And then more information too. I mean, we also provide information such as, I have a court date, can you tell me? So forth. If it's public information, we have it, we can get it. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Sherry. She's going to talk about some of our services that we actually provide. So it's not informational, it's more of a service request.
And unlike my father and Arlene, I'm really not crazy about holding the mic, but thankful to be here with you guys all today. So here's an example of some of the things that we can take a call for. We can actually enter into our system that we're constantly working on to try to make it better and more efficient. And then we send these cases, we call them, to various departments throughout the city. Some of the calls we even get are the CAD jobs that we can enter for a 911 dispatcher to get, like if there's a legally parked vehicle or a loose dog, we can enter those. A 911 dispatcher and sends out to the RBD personnel or the animal services. We take water.
Oh yeah, I had a chance to call 311 last week, and I was very delighted with the results. There was a street light out, and I live in the city, so when the street light's out, you call 311. And I called late in the afternoon, and the next day the street light was replaced. I was very happy. Yeah, excellent service.
Who here have also called 311? Anybody else?
I call them all the time.
All the time?
For the refuge collection, if it's a holiday, some I know, some I don't.
Right. That's confusing. Yeah. That's one of our high-volume calls when there's a day off and people wanting to know, are they coming Thursday or Friday and so forth and so. So what we try to do is like recordings, put it in the recording that refuse is delayed a day, refuse on schedule. So we try to do that because we know people typically call for that. Anybody else?
You have that list on those sheets you handed out to us, the numbers?
The phone numbers to call, or this
All
whole
that
presentation?
stuff,
Yeah,
What do you want, John?
copy of it.
Listen.
Download on the sheet I got, you gave me?
The 311.
We'll give a copy of this to my father, if anybody wants it.
Yes. A list of the services, we can give that, we'll give it to Mr. Alati, and then he can pass it out.
Okay, thanks, Laura.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
We're also gonna give you a brochure of the city services.
One thing I'd like to mention, the street lighting, street sweeping, and the snow removal. When we lived in the city, we were lucky that one of the people that lived across the street from us was a snowplow driver, as well as worked other jobs in the city. But our street was plowed right away when he went to work. He'd get that taken care of.
Maybe some of the benefits of that.
But we have had to call 311 at times. And there's a dead cat, or there's this or that, or whatever. It's been a very good system that they have.
Yeah, the city, I don't know when, recently, I think it was in the last year or two, took over all the lights in the city of Rochester. RG&E used to be responsible for some, but now the city is responsible for all of them. We water billing and refuse billing. Water billing, your call might last 20 minutes. I mean, the agents have to know a lot of information and they have to do research. So they never know what the call is going to be about. Every time the phone rings, so they're really well trained and very knowledgeable.
How large is the staff there?
20.
are kind of a 24/7 operation to some degree. What we do is we have service representatives there till 11 o'clock at night, from 6:30 till 11 o'clock, Monday through Fridays. And the weekends they come in at 7 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. Now after that, if you call on a public safety side of information or request, you can hit the number 1 and it'll take you to a public safety aide who can then, assist you with the public safety aspect of the 311 call center. But if you're calling because you want your refuse picked up, you have to wait till the next morning to call. Between the hours of 6:30 in the morning till 11 at night. So we do have someone there till 11 at night. I think people, at 2 in the morning are not going to call. My refuse needs to be picked up. So they may be calling for public safety.
You call us for the drug hotline. Some new initiatives the city's undertaking is a single stream recycling. We've done it with 2 routes where we've provided toter-size recycled containers. We've asked them not to use the smaller blue boxes anymore, and they can put everything in there. So it doesn't have to be separated like it used to. And it's a lot bigger, it's waterproof, and then the crews only come down every other week. Some people might be able to wait once a month. So it'll be a savings on gas too for the drivers. We're trying to get people, this has just started a few months ago, but eventually it'll be a good savings, and we're hoping to do that throughout the whole city. Just to have everybody do every other week pickup for recycling. I think some of the towns are starting that too.
Yes.
The question I have is, you've been talking about the city of Rochester. How does this affect the people who live in the county?
Yeah, the towns, it's
Separate. How do you work? I realize it's a county-wide situation, but what I've been hearing right now is what you've done within the city of Rochester. How do you work this within the county now?
That is correct. We do, our focus is the city of Rochester. We do work under the city of Rochester, not the county, but in some aspects, we do assist the county as well. For example, if somebody were to call and they wanted to know about their, when they have to, go in for their courts, so forth, they can call the 311 call center, and we will move, because that's a county-wide system database that we have, so we can say, yes, you have a court with Judge so-and-so, or if somebody wanted to know why was so-and-so arrested last night, within the county, we can answer those questions. But we are just restricted right now to just the city of Rochester. There has been talked about, do we move into the county, does 311 expand to the county or not? But at this time, the answer is no, that's not true. So you cannot call 311 outside of the city of Rochester. So that, thank you for bringing that up. But if you live outside of the city of Rochester, you can still reach the 311 call center by calling the 428-5990. It's going to get right to the same people, whether you call 311 within the city or you call 428-5990 outside of the city. You will still get to 311. So if somebody wanted to know so-and-so was arrested last night, and you live outside of the city of Rochester, you can call our 428-5990 number, and we'll give you the same information. And we also assist landlords that may live outside of the city of Rochester, but they'll call that 5990 number. We can assist them with, whether they've got a notice in order for their property or they have violations or so forth. So,
If you live in Greece and you call 311, what would happen?
you're not going to get through.
Would it just be a busy sound? Or?
I don't remember exactly, and I don't remember exactly, but if it tells you your call cannot go through or so forth. But I live in Greece, and for some reason one day I woke up and he said I was going to call 311, and it did go through. So I had to call them and close that because they can do it by cells and so forth, and so there's some sort of dividing line, and that for that one little particular area of Greece, it was open and they had closed. But I don't remember, it was a few years ago exactly what happened, but the call did not go through afterwards because then I tried it. Okay. And you can try it from home too. I mean, if you live outside of the city of Rochester, if it goes through, you have to let me know because it's not supposed to.
Sometimes we get calls for people trying to reach 311 in Rochester, Minnesota, or sometimes their cell phone carrier just I don't know what happened, this line switch, and they get us instead of another town, or outside somewhere, somebody else's 311.
Each individual town, of course, has their own numbers. It's not a 311 number.
Correct.
But they have their own numbers to call for the dead animals and for the non-emergencies.
Absolutely.
So they don't necessarily want to call 311. Each town has their own.
Yeah, we frequently tell people in the towns that they would have to call their local municipality for that. If anybody has an in with our new county executive, Cheryl Donalfo, or maybe there can be discussion between, the county and the city, and could be quite advantageous.
We would love to expand the services, but we're 311, and the 311 is strictly the city of Rochester.
911's a county, but yeah, we're just.
I'll probably be meeting with her in a couple of weeks.
I'm sorry?
We'll probably be having a meeting with her in a couple of weeks, so
Oh, sure.
maybe we should talk.
You guys can bring it up.
Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the snow, because coming here last year, we had a horrific snow event, snow season. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we had a horrific snow season last year, so we this year, because of how bad it was, and the snow came February 1st, and it didn't stop till like March 16th, nonstop. So the city had a hard time staying on top of the snow and clearing the snow and clearing the snow. I can tell you that there's been a lot of time and effort put into, coming up with more effective and efficient ways of addressing this. One of the things, and this is not, to come out yet, but we're looking at what we call a snow plow tracking device. So we will see where the snow plows are. That's under test, so it's still being developed, it's still being implemented. But these are just some of the initiatives that we're taking. The way the call is going to be handled at the call center, we're going to be taking everyone's information. When I say information, like their name and their number, because we're going to track all the calls and the reasons why they're calling and so forth, to ensure that we're capturing your reasons for calling and how can we better serve you. So we're trying to collect a lot of the data. We've ordered numerous equipment that's been purchased to help as well, and they've also put in the budget some more snow inspectors to go out there and inspect these streets. They're going to see a lot of publicity on some of the steps that are taken, like particularly like the downtown sort of area where you have to clear the streets so that the snowplow can come out and clear specific streets. There's about 60 some odd streets that, there's going to be some signs and you have to remove your vehicle. But those will be announced before the city actually comes out and starts plowing. And if you don't move your vehicle, the vehicle will be moved for you. Well, it could be at your expense, depending. So if, for example, you have tickets and you haven't paid them, or you have an illegal plate, it would be towed to the pound. If it's just that, you were sleeping and there was a snow emergency that night, they may move your vehicle around the corner where it's not, where it's not a snow emergency street in order to clear that street. And they're typically like real narrow streets and so forth.
We take surveys. Every night we do callbacks from customers who have called the office to ask them how were they satisfied with the 311 experience, the treatment they got out in the field, and then their overall experience. So we shared with you the slide from 2014, the overall experience with 311, and 61% said excellent, 32% good. And so the agents, they're hardworking, they strive hard to do a good job, and for the most part, people are quite satisfied with the service they receive.
So that ends up being about 93% from good and excellent. So I think we're happy with that, but we're always striving to do better, So if you have any suggestions or anything that, you're not happy with, by all means, let us know.
Do you record all your calls?
Good question.
Yes, we do.
So,
You
So if you call the 301 call center, your call will be recorded. And if for some reason you want to bring something to our attention, we will pull those calls and we will listen to them. Not everybody's perfect. Sometimes somebody may wake up and not have a good day. But I think overall, we provide excellent service, and we're always willing to listen and continue to be better, do better. I think that's our short presentation for now. Questions? Yes.
Yes, if you call and report like a property violation, does that information get reported so then the RPD can access that? Like, say, for example, you wanted a property report for all 911 calls and 311 calls for a particular address. Would RPD be able to pull that information?
We'd probably go through the Freedom of Information Office, and they would pull any calls that were taken if you request, any cases that were entered from the neighborhood service center or 311 or through RPD. I'm not sure about all RPD's information that's given out to the public, but they do keep track, safety-wise, of all the calls that they take and problems at properties. And if you're a landlord, I'm sure you'd be able to get access to that information.
Okay.
Somebody who's not a landlord, I don't want to give out all the police information.
Yes, in regards to the snow removal for the city of Rochester, do you have separate trucks for the snow removal? Because years ago, I think they used to use garbage trucks when it was overwhelmed. And if they did that, I think they do that probably in New York. If they did that, it would affect the garbage pickup because everything would get backed up. They have to plow the streets first. Is that the case here? Or?
Yes, they have city streets. Arterial streets are mainly done by our special services department. They go out when the first snowfall, or even before that, they start salting. They have plows on the front, they'll plow if needed. And then after 3 inches of fresh fallen snow, we call them the contractors. And I think there's about 20 some of them, and they all go out at the same time, and they complete their run within 4 to 6 hours.
So you don't have to use the garbage trucks. You don't have to.
We do.
Oh, you do.
Sometimes. So like last year when we
So
were
you have to put the
inundated with
plow.
snow.
Do you have to put the plow on the garbage truck?
Yes, they hook them up and they send the garbage trucks out.
That's extra work.
That's like a third. Yeah, that's when
That's when you get heavy snow.
the city crews have gone out, the private contractors, and then right, yeah.
But then if you do that, then the garbage gets backed up, wouldn't it?
Well, they make sure they do their, usually the refuse doesn't get backed up, getting picked up. They take care of that and then they go out. And sometimes we haven't picked up snow because the snow has been buried and the refuse containers have been buried. But it's rare that that happens.
It's very rare that happens. But they do use some refuse truck, it's like at the bottom, but it's very rare that the city would not pick up your garbage. That did happen this year though, this season, but this was horrific. But it was only for a couple of times that did happen, I recollect.
I've been with the city, it'll be 30 years in December, and I can think of 2 times when that's happened where refuse did get delayed, once even like 2-3 days. It's rare, but people are going to many places, it snows all over the place in that case.
So you just use the refuse trucks as an extra backup?
Yes.
Okay. How many trucks do you use, or it all depends?
Well, the city crews go out, I think there's probably 15 of them, the larger, heavier trucks. Not as big as the ones in the towns that you see, but they can't be because the city streets typically are smaller. But then the plow contractors, there's about 20 of those. And then the refuse trucks, they might hook up another, I don't know, 1 dozen to 2 dozen, what's ever needed.
For the refuse, the garbage.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What type of budget do you all have?
Nah, I don't know. Don't know. I honestly don't know the answer. Yes, sir.
If I called because of a barking dog, which I did once, the man in the house had passed out on the floor. And the dog just kept barking and barking. I didn't know what it was, but if I called 311 about a barking dog, what then happens? Do you call animal control, or do you call the police, or do you call?
We would enter a CAD job. The 911 dispatcher would get it, and we'll give it to an animal services, animal control officer, who will go out there and try to gain entrance into the home.
Okay, this was at about midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
it's an emergency of any form, we will send that call to 311. We have strict criteria at the call center. So if somebody calls and they say, well, there's this guy, I don't want to call 911, but he's kind of lurking around, and I don't know, I'm a little uncomfortable with him. That is a 911 call. For as much as you may think it's not, that's definitely a 911 call, because that person may be up to no good. And they may be just looking for their keys. We don't know. But we always err on the side. We always side on the...
No, err on the side.
Err on the side. Yeah. So if we think there's a potential for something bad to happen, we will take that call and send it to 911. And they're more than happy to take it.
And our scripting instructs the agents that answer the calls. If any public safety issue is going on currently or within the last 5 minutes, transfer it to 911 so a police officer can get over there and check it out.
Now, getting back to your animal control there, with the budget, they continue to keep reducing the budget and so forth. Sometimes they're very limited on if they have an animal control officer at that time to go out. They may have one to do the whole city or two.
If there is only one animal services officer on duty there, they will only take emergencies, which means if you want to surrender an animal, they won't respond to that. Certain other non-emergency issues, they just won't respond to.
The dog was inside barking through the screen, and I just figured something was going on there.
Yeah, they will try to, they'll knock on the door, try to get in. Yep, they'll try to find a phone number.
Did you see what did happen in that situation?
Too much alcohol.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, who showed up?
I don't know. I don't know. I went back to bed.
So I thought you asked me what the budget was. I thought you said engine. I apologize. I don't know the engine. So sorry, your question was?
So I just wondered what type of budget they allowed you all to have.
The 301 call center? Yes, it is. I'm trying to fix. I don't give you the incorrect number, but it's like 1.3 million. Is that right? Yeah.
Is it sufficient for the number of people that you have? Our call volume has increased immensely, and people continue to keep giving 311 call center more and more lines to answer, and we're more than happy to do it. But we are squeezed as far as as far as having the resources. So we're at the point now where we have to let the deputy mayor know if you want us to answer maybe next thing, whether it's public safety calls specifics or another department. We need more people. We really do need more people. The budget mainly is salary, and then the little bit left is for operation costs.
The reason I ask, if I do happen to decide I might try to get a job with the county, I'll have something to ask Cheryl. I have something to look at and say, well, I knew we had to have a budget, and I'll leave it there.
And we've had some discussion with the county. We've had some discussion with the county. We actually had some discussion with the Rochester City School District, taking over some of their calls. And then we'll definitely would need more bodies to take them, because we are probably close to our max.
Well, you may have to get rid of Marcus or his assistant.
And all of our new hires have been part-time, so what about third of our staff is part-time?
Any other questions?
Would a sound complaint, would that be a 911 call or a 311 call? Like a loud noise from a vehicle or a house party that's gone way past midnight?
House party would be 911. A loud vehicle could be 311.
House parties?
Because there have been so many problems with house parties. So they determined they want the police to respond right away. There have been so many instances. They want to get right there.
They're transferred, yeah.
Yeah, it's right in our scripting. Is it a house party? Yep, send it over to 911.
one tree in my front yard. My neighbor's got 3 trees in the front yard. The neighbor's young kid doesn't pick up a leaf. Guess what he does? He takes a leaf blower and blows them out into the street. So the first car comes by, drags the leaf, and I've been to the town hall 3 times, and guess what? They can't do nothing about it.
Right. We actually don't write notice and orders for leaves either in the city. Because you don't always know where they came from, so they don't, I'm not surprised the town doesn't either. We'll write notice and orders for trash and debris in the right of way or on private property, but leaves, we don't write notice and orders for.
We do pick them up.
I'm young enough, but one of these days I'm going to get old.
Maybe you can, if he wants to draw your rate.
I'm getting in my yard.
Okay, well, if there are no other questions, I thank you for inviting us to come and share with you what we do, and we're very passionate about 311 customer service.
Thank you.
There's one thing we haven't done, which I forgot about. Sing.
Right, I saw the book.
I got it.
Oh, that's so nice. Push it. Push it.
Did you break it?
I'm sorry, I forgot. We did bring these at your service. So I'm going to pass it around, and it pretty much tells you about the DES, Department of Environmental Service, and the services that they provide.
This month's In Good Health magazine is up here, newspapers up here. Graham County.
You have a nurse? Oh, she could get taken.
They keep sending them to me because we had a story in there about us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Put my book with your book. It'll be around. I think it's
Is this still live?
Local media at Genesee School.
Let's
Gotta go get rolls.
turn to page 1 on our star books. I think we've got a special number to sing for our guest this morning. It's on page 1. And we got 2 cards, so it'll apply to both of them, even though the words are in the singular. It's called Ain't She Sweet.
Oh, we are singing.
Ain't she
Sweet, look coming down the street. Now ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice and ask you very confidentially, ain't she nice? Just cast an eye in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? And ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet?
All right.
both of you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got time for others on here. Okay, well, sure enough, Mark passed out these pamphlets, the history of Oh Beautiful for Spacious Skies, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So why don't we sing that? We'll sing the first, second,
Got any extra?
and if we got time, the third verse.
We only know the first 2 in here.
Huh?
Oh, all right, from right there.
Yeah, let's use the tape for you. Oh,
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruitless plain. America, America. me to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrims meet, whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God send thy every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes prove in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy glory find, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine.
Okay, you did a good job on it.
All right.
Let's try another one. Another one is a song that I always like. It's called That Old Bag of Mine. And it's on page 33. Wow. Sing loud.
Good job. Okay.
But I give the world to see that old
33. 33.
Forget that old forget that sang that line. Goodbye forever, old fellows and gals. Goodbye forever, old sweethearts and pals. God bless them. But I give the world to see that old gang of mine. All right, you did good.
Okay, the two, it's
Let's finish up with, just a closer walk with me. Comes under J, it's on page 19. So get through maybe one verse of the chorus.
What page?
19.
19.
I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Let me walk close to thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be.
Good job, folks.
All right.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we can close the meeting. I think they did a pretty good job.
All right.
Both people's,
Oh, yeah.
the 311 call was fantastic, because there were people at 911 and completely overworked. I mean, you call about a dead squirrel or parked cars.
Okay.
You gotta make way for the emergency stuff.
Yes.
Rochester was one of the few, they didn't say this, I don't know why, but Rochester was one of the few cities that started with 311 system. My daughter Sherry, when we were down in Florida several years ago, she went over and went to visit what she thought was the 311 system in Orlando. They had never heard of it before. Yeah, and she, I can't believe this. You know, she goes, here's what we do. We keep them separate. And they said, we're going to take this under advisement. I don't know, she hadn't followed up, so I don't know what did happen. But as a result of her being there and asking those kinds of questions, they started scratching their heads, saying, hey, you know, maybe you got something. Hey, I'm amazed it hasn't been a nationwide, operation across the country. Anyway, with that, we'll close the meeting. Thank you all very much. Remember, that's the next thing. November the 18th, we won't have a meeting here. Where do we want to go for luncheon? Any suggestions?
Got a buffet any place?
Shamrock Jack is one place we went to.
Shamrock Jack's is where?
Up on Culver Road, isn't it?
You're asking me, I don't know.
By Seabreeze.
Up by Seabreeze.
Oh, great.
Right next to the Seabreeze parking lot.
All right, yes, in fact, it's across the street from Nick's and so on, and all those other.
Yeah, we ate there once.
Okay, that's one suggestion. Are there any others? Yes,
One
John?
down in Greece, that's a pantry or something like that. It's next to
Patty.
railroad track.
Patty's
Hey,
Pantry?
Pantry.
Patty's Pantry.
I've heard that it's high priced for what you get, and it's a long wait. They don't have that many personnel in there to wait on you. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Any other suggestions so we can maybe take a vote on it?
How about the brew house?
Brew house.
Brew House. Okay, that's Genesee Brewer House.
Oh, that's
St. Paul.
Yeah, that was. Oh, that was. Yeah, we like that.
So we got Jack's. What'd you say, Jack's? What?
Shamrock Jack.
There is a restaurant, you know where on Culver Road where the miniature golf course is?
Yeah, that's Shamrock Jack's.
No, the family restaurant he's talking about, right around the corner.
There is another one right across from the golf course. Something like Building 32 or something like the fire.
Oh,
It was an old fire.
the old fire hall.
Yeah, the old firehouse.
Not on
It's
Culver
off-
Road.
it's off-
No, it's off of that.
It's down at
Right.
that street. It's across-
By the old bridge.
It's Engine 42 or something. It's
Yeah.
45.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Lake and Stunson Street.
Yeah.
All right, that's an idea. So we got one there. What'd you say? What's the one about Jack's? What's his name?
Shamrock.
Shamrock Jack's. Okay. Shamrock Jack's. And any others?
Brew house.
All right. Oh, the brew house.
Brew house.
Yes, the brew house. All right. Well, all right. Let's take a vote. Speaking of voting, we've done so much in the past year. So I assume everybody did.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
who'd like to go to Shamrock Jack's? Let's see, one. Okay. Who'd like to go to the brew house?
Want to go to the Blue House for lunch?
Check. Let me see.
18.
And the third one was
Engine 42.
what was the third one?
Engine 22 or
Engine 42 or whatever. Down at Latta and Lake and Stunson Street. How many for that one? Okay. And looks like we're going to go to the brew house.
Check with Brian to make sure we can remember what happened. Because it's usually open to the public.
It is.
Yeah.
It is open.
I'll see if they can take a crowd.
Yeah.
If we get there at
Well, I'll give them a call and see
If
what
we
they
get
say.
there at 11:30, it should be all right. But we'd have to get a table set up.
Yeah.
11:30.
True. Most workers are going to get there about 11:30 too, or 12.
So.
This is just a suggestion. I don't know whether you can do it. We're all retired. Would it be all right if we went at 1 o'clock
Yeah.
so that the workers can eat and get out?
1 o'clock.
Would that be okay?
Yes.
What do you think, folks? Yes?
Yeah.
One
You
No.
don't have to worry about
You
something.
can't make that.
1 o'clock.
I'm just trying to think of the people that are working for a living, you know. We can run into 15 or 20 people.
Well, we need them to keep working.
Get out of here. You think we're working?
1 o'clock?
All right, I'll tell you what. We'll stay at 11:30.
Oh, 11:30?
Yeah, we'll stay at the 11:30 time limit. And it'll be at the brew house. That's on St. Paul. Does everyone know where the brew house is? Okay. John, you know where it is.
Well, the beer.
Okay. I guess we'll set, that's official then. We will meet on the 18th at the brew house at 11:30. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
St. Paul Boulevard.
Oh, St. Paul, okay. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm